God appeared to King Solomon in a dream and said, "Ask for whatever you want me to give you." Imagine that. The creator of the universe is offering you a blank check. You could ask for money, power, fame, anything. What would you choose? Solomon's answer shocked everyone, and it made him worth $2.2 trillion, more than Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and every billionaire today combined. But what he asked for? It wasn't money. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. You're working hard, maybe even doing everything right with your money, but you're still not where you want to be financially. Meanwhile, there's a 3,000-year-old blueprint from the wealthiest person in human history that could change everything. King Solomon didn't just accumulate $2.2 trillion in today's money by accident. He followed 5 specific principles that God revealed to him, and they're so different from mainstream financial advice that most people completely miss them. The third principle alone challenges everything you've been told about building wealth, and the fifth one, it's probably the reason you're stuck right now. These aren't just ancient stories. These are the same principles quietly used by some of the wealthiest families for generations. Let me show you exactly what Solomon knew that we've forgotten. But before we dive in, if you're serious about building real, lasting wealth using biblical principles, do me a favor, smash that like button right now. It tells YouTube to share this with more people who need to hear it. And if you're new here, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. We're building a community of people who want wealth and wisdom. All right, let's get into it. 1. Seek wisdom before wealth. So, let's go back to that moment. God appears to Solomon and says, "Ask for whatever you want." You know what most of us would say? "God, make me rich. Give me $1 billion, right?" But Solomon, he asked for wisdom. Specifically, he asked for a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong. And here's what blows my mind. God was so impressed by this request that he said, "Since you didn't ask for wealth or long life or the death of your enemies, I will give you what you asked for, wisdom. But I will also give you what you didn't ask for, riches and honor beyond measure." This is found in 1 Kings 3, 5-14, and it's the foundation of everything. The principle? Wisdom is the currency that attracts wealth. Most people chase money. Wealthy people chase wisdom, and money follows. Think about it. Steve Jobs didn't just want money. He wanted to understand design and human behavior. Warren Buffett spent decades studying businesses and learning to think differently. Solomon understood something profound. If you get wisdom, you'll know how to create wealth, how to keep it, and how to multiply it. But if you just get money without wisdom, you'll lose it faster than you got it. Here's your action step. Invest in learning. Read books, take courses, study successful people. Proverbs 4:7 says, "Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom." Don't just work for money, work for knowledge and skills that create money. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's one area of your finances where you need more wisdom right now? Is it investing, budgeting, starting a business? Let me know. I read every comment. 2. Multiple streams of income. Now, once Solomon had wisdom, he didn't just sit around waiting for money to fall from the sky. He built multiple income streams. Look at 1 Kings 10, 14-15. The weight of gold that Solomon received yearly was 666 talents, not including the revenues from merchants and traders and from all the Arabian kings and the governors of the territories. Let me break this down. Solomon had income from gold mines and natural resources, trade routes and merchants, he controlled major shipping lanes, taxes from territories he governed, business partnerships with other kings, his own manufacturing, he built ships and chariots, real estate, he built entire cities. This man had at least 6 different streams of income flowing in. The principle? Never depend on one source of income. Ecclesiastes 11:2 says, "Invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land." Even the Bible is telling you to diversify. Why? Because life is unpredictable. Economies crash, jobs disappear, industries change. Here's your action step. Start building a second income stream this month. It could be a side hustle, freelancing, investing in stocks or real estate, creating digital products, anything. Don't wait until you have time. Start small, but start. Comment below and tell me, how many income streams do you currently have? Just 1, 2, 5? And what's one new stream you could start building this year? Let's inspire each other. 3. Generosity creates wealth, not hoarding. Here's where it gets counterintuitive. You'd think the richest man ever would be stingy, right? Hoarding every penny? Wrong. Solomon was radically generous. When the Queen of Sheba visited him, 1 Kings 10:13 says, King Solomon gave the Queen of Sheba all she desired and asked for, besides what he had given her out of his royal bounty. He gave her everything she wanted, plus more. And this wasn't a one-time thing. Solomon regularly gave gifts to other kings, supported his people, and funded massive projects. But here's the mind-blowing part. The more he gave, the richer he became. The principle? Generosity is a wealth magnet. Proverbs 11:24-25 says, one person gives freely, yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly, but comes to poverty. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. This isn't just spiritual, it's practical. When you're generous, you build relationships and networks. People want to do business with you. Opportunities come to you. You develop an abundance mindset instead of scarcity. The wealthiest people I know are also the most generous. They understand that money is meant to flow, not stagnate. Here's your action step. Start giving 10% of your income. If you can't do 10% yet, start with 5%. Give to your church, charity, people in need. Watch what happens. Test God on this. He literally invites you to in Malachi 3:10. Be honest in the comments. Do you struggle with generosity, or have you seen generosity come back to you? Share your story. I'd love to hear it. 4. Build assets, not just income. Solomon didn't just make money, he built things that made money for him. 1 Kings 9:17-19 describes how Solomon built entire cities, storage facilities, and infrastructure. He built a fleet of ships that traveled the world trading, 1 Kings 10:22. He invested in real estate, businesses, and resources that generated wealth whether he was working or not. The principle? Rich people build assets. Poor people only trade time for money. An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket without you actively working. Real estate that generates rent, a business that runs without you, investments that pay dividends, intellectual property that earns royalties. Solomon understood this 3,000 years ago. He built systems that created wealth automatically. Most people work 40+ hours a week, and when they stop working, the money stops. That's not wealth, that's survival. Wealth is when your money works for you. Here's your action step. Ask yourself, what am I building that will make money while I sleep? Start investing in one asset this year. It could be a rental property, index funds, starting an online business, creating a course, anything that builds long-term value. 5. Fear of the Lord is the beginning of wealth. This is the one most people skip, but it's the foundation of everything. Proverbs 22:4 says, humility and the fear of the Lord bring wealth and honor and life. Fear of the Lord doesn't mean being scared of God. It means having reverence, respect, and alignment with His principles. It means acknowledging that everything you have comes from Him. Solomon understood this. Even with all his wealth, he wrote in Ecclesiastes 5:19, when God gives someone wealth and possessions and the ability to enjoy them, this is a gift of God. The principle, God is the source. When you honor Him with your finances, He blesses the work of your hands. This means operating with integrity in business, not cheating or cutting corners, honoring your commitments, giving God the first portion of your income, using wealth to bless others, not just yourself. When you align your finances with God's principles, you tap into supernatural provision. I've seen it in my own life and in countless others. Here's your action step. Start every financial decision with prayer. Before you make an investment, start a business, or spend money, ask God for wisdom. Proverbs 3:9-10 says, "Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing." Comment below. Have you ever experienced God's provision in your finances? Or what's one way you can honor God with your money this week? Let's encourage each other. Solomon's mistake. Now, here's something important. Solomon had all this wealth and wisdom, but later in life he made a critical mistake. He let his wealth and his relationships pull him away from God. 1 Kings 11:4 says, "As Solomon grew old, his wives turned his heart after other gods, and his heart was not fully devoted to the Lord his God." The lesson? Wealth without spiritual foundation will destroy you. Money is a tool, not a god. The moment you start worshiping wealth instead of using it for God's purposes, you lose. Don't make Solomon's mistake. Build wealth, yes, but keep God first, always. So let's recap the 5 wealth lessons from King Solomon. Seek wisdom before wealth. Invest in learning and knowledge. Multiple streams of income. Diversify your revenue sources. Generosity creates wealth. Give freely and watch it return multiplied. Build assets, not just income. Create systems that make money for you. Fear of the Lord is the beginning of wealth. Honor God with your finances. These aren't just ancient principles, they're timeless truths that work today, right now in 2026, just like they worked 3,000 years ago. If this video gave you a new perspective on wealth, do me a huge favor, hit that like button so more people can discover these biblical principles. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button and turn on notifications because I've got more videos coming on biblical wealth, financial freedom, and living a life of abundance God's way. And here's my final question for you. Which of these 5 lessons hit you the hardest? Which one are you going to implement first? Drop it in the comments right now. I want to hear from you. And who knows, your comment might inspire someone else watching this. Remember, Solomon didn't become the richest man ever by accident. He followed God's principles. And if you do the same, there's no limit to what God can do through your finances. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Now go out there and build wealth God's way.